Today's episode's mission, we're gonna be adding 2 additional shanks to this 5-shank chisel plow. Are you ready to get to work? Let's go. All right, let me show you the shanks that I got. So I picked up this old chisel plow. We're gonna use this shank, and we're gonna use this shank on the John Deere by undoing these 3 bolts here and here, bolting them on here and here to turn this 5-shank chisel plow into a 7-shank chisel plow. I had a feeling that these bolts, being that they were so old and rusted, they might be hard to get off. So last night I came out here and I sprayed each one of these 6 bolts with some white grease from WD-40. And I've used this white grease before in the past. It's amazing. It really works very well. So I took out the first bolt for us. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the rest of these bolts. We're gonna have to run down the hardware store and get some new bolts. These are in not good shape at all. This shank has a broken point. I'm gonna do this point as well here in a moment. Put one of those spare ones on it. Got to get some more grease on these to get those off. This was the white grease I was talking about. It's white lithium grease. It by far is the best grease I've used. While that grease starts working on its penetration, I'm gonna go ahead and begin taking this old point off and stealing one from back here. I'm gonna steal this one. As I expected here with this point, it's pretty rusted. I'm gonna have to hit it a few good times. You can see how thick the rust is. And I have to go break out the big hammers. Got a couple options here. Got my 16 ounce and got my big 12-pound sledgehammer. Let's see if we can get this off. Yeah, no problem. This old chisel plow's sat outside for a very, very long time. I can understand why it's rusted so bad. Not great shape. All I needed to do is serve its purpose. The chisel plow this farm one time. That's all I need. If I can do that, I'm in good shape. Let's try to get the other shank off now. This has had a few minutes to set, so let's try it. I'm gonna put these nuts back on just a little bit so I can hit it with the hammer. We're getting some good movement. There we go. It's breaking apart. There's no weight on it, so you can see it's moving. Then pop these off. Oh yeah, there we go. Let me show you what we're looking at here. This point on this shank is decent shape. We're gonna leave that alone. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take one of these old bolts, go see if it fits inside of this John Deere. Oh yeah, it works just fine. What I'm gonna do is now is I'm gonna run down to the hardware store, see if I can pick up some new bolts. If not, at least I can find a wire brush to clean these up a little bit. Let's see if we can get this point off of this shank now that it's set for a few minutes. Yeah, it's moving here. Let's go get me a punch. This punch right here, my dad used to use it. He passed away 25 years ago. Now I get to use it. Still works good. Since we just removed this old point, I'm gonna put this point on it. Looks good to me. Put the chain like this so when I lift up, it doesn't slide off, but rather it catches here and pulls up on the chain. All I'm trying to do is lift this chisel plow off the ground just a little bit. We're gonna have to bring the chisel plow up a little bit, but I was at least able to get one on. Now we're gonna bring it up about another inch. There we go. It's caught on something there. Here I thought I was gonna have to go to the hardware store, and I'm gonna have to go up there. Get them all snugged down before we tighten them all up super tight. This one we're going to do and snug it all the way down. All right, folks, got this one done. Now it's time to go do the other one. All right, folks, the second one's done. Get the 3 in that too. We just turned this 5 shank into a 7 shank. Next up, gotta spin these points. I feel safe changing out these points on this shank while the tractor's running and keeping hydraulic pressure on the grapple to keep this chisel plow up in the air. So I feel safe enough to go ahead and change out these points. One thing I like about this shank, or this point, it's 3 inches wide, so it gets really good, but it's also got a 45-degree angle on it, so it turns the dirt. I like that a lot. What I'm doing here, folks, is just some housekeeping. I want to get this guide wheel to come up to be 10 inches from here. So we're at 10.5. I'm just gonna loosen this up just a smidge. Ten and a quarter. Inches. So you may be wondering, how deep will I be going? This shank is setting on the ground, and there's the tire. So roughly 12 inches. I don't personally think it'll go that deep, because when the guide wheels were 8 inches, the guide wheels didn't even touch the ground. So we were about 6 inches into the soil. I'd like to get down to 8 inches to really break it up, because it's heavy compaction past that 3 inches. And we're gonna try it here. We'll go from there. We were able to convert this 5-shank chisel plow into a 7-shank chisel plow by adding 1 shank over here and adding a 2nd shank over here. Secondly, we were able to turn the points on each one of these shanks to have that V. And thirdly, we were able to lift up both guide wheels to target 12 inches deep, but ideally we're going to end up somewhere between 8 and 12 inches deep into the dirt. These chisel plows around here typically go for about $150 per shank in a condition like this. I paid about $750 for this 5-shank chisel plow. By adding these 2 shanks, we're able to get it up at about $300. So if I was to resell it, probably be in the $1,000, $1,100 range. And picking up these shanks, they're not too expensive. So if you wanted to convert one of your chisel plows and try to get a little bit more out of it, this is one way to do it. Folks, that's it for this episode's mission. We'll see you on the next one.